Today we are doing, you can do it later. All right, 1.6 geometric word problems. So we're not learning any new formulas, but we are doing word problems. So, number one, Jesse, read it for us. Or no, never mind, hold up. Well, I'll get to you in a minute. All right, so here are 3 geometric formulas. Again, none of them are new. However, I do want to point out what's the difference between the S sub n and just the S. All right, this one is finite, so you might want to make a note of that on your paper. And this one is infinite. So those are the 2 different sum formulas. You can use this AN formula for finite or infinite. That doesn't matter. But if it says the word sum, that's when you have to make a decision. Okay, but the nth term doesn't matter if it's finite or infinite. Okay, all right. Number 1, Jesse, read that one for us. Good. So you have a 2,000-pound ice sculpture. So that's what its weight started out being. So that's A1. So A1 is 2,000. I already gave you the R because I thought it was too much to ask for you to come up with it on this one. But let's talk about where I got that number from. It's melting 30%. So 30% of this ice, whatever, is melting. So how much is left? 70% is left. So that's where the 0.7 came from, 70%. Okay, but I gave it to you right here. And then it's going for 6 hours. So that's like we're doing it 6 times. So that is our N. Okay. Now, it says how much of the sculpture will be left. So that wants to know what it is at the 6th time. Okay, so we're looking for A6 for this one. So remember, we're using these 3 formulas today, still geometric. So I'm going to use this top one because I'm not looking for the sum. So for AN, I'm going to put A6. What about A1? What goes in? 2,000. For R, 0.7. And what about N minus 1? 5. And it came from right here. N is 6. 6 minus 1 is 5. Okay, let me call on somebody. Don't say the answer out loud. Mason, tell us what you get. $336.14. Very good. Okay. What is that? 336 what? Pounds. Very good. Whoever said that. Okay. Number 2, a ball is dropped at a specific height in feet and then rebounds. On the 8th bounce, the ball's height is 0.02 feet. On the 5th bounce, the ball's height is 0.92 feet. What percent is the ball rebounding from its original height? Okay, Denise, what's one thing you know? Excellent. She got that from here. The 8th bounce is 0.02. Great job. Sterling's not here. Laura, what's something else you know? Good. All right, guys, again, nothing new. Just going back to everything we've learned. When they've given you 2 A's and neither is A1, what do? System. Good. Okay. All right. So we're going to make a system. Remember that we're doing geometric, so I'm going to use this top formula right here. Okay, and I'm going to make 2 equations. Okay. What do we think is going to go in for AN first? 0.02. Let's go ahead and plug in 0.02. 0.02 equals, do I know A1? No, so I write A1. Do I know R? No. And what N goes with 0.02? 8 minus 1, which is 7. Okay? All right. Kendra, try setting up the bottom equation. Good. Okay. And guys, I know it's a lot to keep straight, but I also know that you're capable of doing it. When there's an R involved, I'm not going to subtract. What am I going to do? I'm going to divide. So I need to divide my big numbers. 0.02 divided by 0.92. Anybody that gives you a decimal? Okay. All right. What happens to my A1s? They cancel. Now, I divide my big numbers and subtract your small numbers. All right. I used to say that a million times when y'all were in Math 1. All right. So R to the third power. All right, Jalen, how do you get rid of the third power?
You do the
Very good. You take the third root. Okay? And what do we got?
I got 0.2789.
Okay. Yeah, it's close enough. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. This one's kind of tricky on how they're wording it. What percent is the ball rebounding from its original height? They are looking for R, but they're looking for it in a percent. So instead of being 0.278, it would be what? 27.8%, or I would accept 28% too. I wouldn't count 28% wrong. So they are looking for how much the rebound is every time, and it's 28% of the original height. Okay. All right, number 3, Benny got a new job that guarantees him a raise every year. His annual pay raise is always 4% of his salary at the time. During his 5th year, Benny's salary is $53,814. What was Benny's starting salary when he was hired? Yes. Okay. Number 3, Jacob, what's something we know? What else do we know? Good. Okay, great question. So I went ahead and gave you this one because I think it's a little tricky. And that's what I'll do on the test too. If I think it's tricky, I'll go ahead and give you R. Does anybody know why it's 1.04? Yes, it's a raise. And so they take what he originally had, which would be, let's say you were making $10,000 and you times it by 1. What would you get? 10,000. So the 1 gives you what you originally had, and then the 0.04 gives you the raise. Okay? Good question. What was Benny's starting salary? So what are they looking for? A 1. Okay? All right. Austin, which formula we're going to use? Top one. Rudy, what goes in the AN spot? Good. Equals a 1, 1.04. And guys, what goes in the n minus 1 spot? 4. Okay. All right. And AJ's not here. Carter, how can you get A1 by itself? Very good. So to the 4th, you're going to keep that with it. So do that all in one step to make your life easier. This one, it's definitely okay to go 2 decimal places and stop. Why? Yes. It is money. So if it is money, you can always stop at 2 decimal places. No questions asked. Okay. Anybody need more time to write? Sure thing. Okay. Number 4. Jonathan, read it for us.
How many hours will it take for 19,112.843 that period be?
Good. Cole, what is the 6,000? Good. A1 is 6,000. I went ahead and told you R. And I do think this one's tricky. I will try not to put one of these on the test. If I do, come up to my desk and tell me. Here's what I think is tricky about this one. The 19,112.8434. Is that AN or is that S? It's AN. But again, I think, yes. So again, I will make it more clear than that on the test because I think you could argue either way based on how that question is written. But it is AN. Okay. All right. So Ethan, which formula are we using? The top one. So for AN, I'm putting in 19,112.8434 equals A1 is 6,000. R is 1.18. And Autumn, what goes in for N? Very good. We don't know. So N minus 1. Okay. Ashley, what do you do next? Right? Very good. Divide by 6,000. Guys, to make your life easier, you don't have to write the whole thing on your paper, but keep it in your calculator. So here's what I mean by that. In my calculator, let's see. Okay, in my calculator, I'm going to type in 19112.8434. I'm going to type all that in, divided by 6,000. All right, now on my paper, I might write 3.18. I might write that on my paper. But what I'm going to show you what I want you to do in the calculator. So let's say I write just 3.18 on my paper. What do you have to do next since n is in the exponent? Log. Here's what I want you to do on the calculator so you can get the most accurate answer. So in the calculator, I would hit log. And then a lot of you know how to do this. You can hit the up and insert it back in, or I always hit second negative, and it's going to put in that whole number for me. So log of that, because I don't like typing it. So you just hit second negative, and it puts in the answer. Divided by log of what? Good, 1.18. Okay. And that one you can clearly round, all right? Because it's 0.99999. So you can round that one to 7. What are you left with? 7 equals n minus 1. And so your last step is to add 1. And let's go back and read the question. How many hours? Does n stand for number of hours in this case? Yes. So we're done. Okay. Let me write log here in case some of y'all are trying to. Let's see what we did. Okay. All right, number 5, a job pays a salary of $24,000 the first year. During the next 19 years, the salary increases 5% each year. What is the total lifetime salary over a 20-year period? Pandora, what is the 24,000? Good. And I already told you R. Jasmine, what is the 20-year period? What is that? It's the number of years. So what letter would that be? N. Okay, can anybody tell me a key word in this one? Total. Very good. Total, 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 total. What does total mean to do? Sum. All right? Sum. When you see the word total, you're going to do the sum. So, is this one finite or infinite? It's finite. 2 reasons why it's finite. 1, it has an N in it, and we have an N. The second reason is in the directions. It says these are finite. Okay. All right. So S equals, I'm using the Brown formula right here. What goes in for A1? 1 minus 1.05 to the 20th over 1 minus 1.05. Do not say the answer out loud. I want every single person to type this one in because we're having some calculator issues. Do not say the answer out loud. I want to give everybody time to type this one in so that we can figure out our calculator. All right, you should be getting 793,582.89. Okay. All right, number 6. Cole, read it for us. Pendulum. Good. Eden, what is 20 inches? Very good. And they already tell you R is 0.9. Daniel, what is the 10 swings? Good. Keyword is total. Total, 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 which means I use the sum formula. All right? So S equals A1 is 20. 1 minus what? 0.9 to the 10th power over 1 minus 0.9. All right, what are we getting on this one? Good. All right, number 7. A child on a swing is given a big push. She travels 12 feet on the first swing, but only 5/6 as far on each successive swing. How far does she travel before the swing stops? Carter, what is 12? A 1. Denise, what do you think 5/6 is? R, very good. And Ashley, what's the key word? Total. And you'll notice up at the top for this one in bold, it says these are infinite. These are infinite. So I'm using the black formula down here. So S equals 12 over, Jasmine, what do I have to write on the bottom? And 5/6 has to go in parentheses. So on this one, when you type it in the calculator, not only are you going to put parentheses around 5/6, why are you doing that? It's a fraction, but the calculator also requires that extra set on the bottom. Okay? All right, Jalen, what are you getting? Good. All right, what is that? 72 what? Feet. Okay? All right, number 8, Rudy, read it for us.
Oh, please don't make me read, please.
Go ahead.
I won't read. I can't do it.
Read the first sentence.
I'll do anything else but read.
Read the first sentence. I'll read the rest of it.
I can't.
You can't read? Go ahead.
With the factory of small annual payroll of 60, it is expected that 60% of this money will be spent by factory personnel. The people in the town who receive this money are expected to spend 60% of what they receive in town and so on. What is the total of all this spending?
Thank you, Jalen. Jacob, what is the 6 million you think? A1, very good. Austin, what do you think R is? Very good. So I'm just going to write 6 million. I don't want to put all the zeros. You can if you want. All right, R is 0.6. Very good. And Jesse, what's the key word? Total. So I'm using the S formula again. All right. 6. Ethan, can you set it up for us? Shh.
S equals 6 divided by 1 minus 0.6.
Good. And so you would need to put parentheses around the bottom in your calculator. And Laura, what are you getting? Yep. So you can put 15 with 6 zeros, or you can write 15 million, whichever one you prefer. Okay. Number 9, a yo-yo travels 20 total feet. On each swing, it only goes 80% as far as its previous swing. How far did it go on its first swing? Mason, what's something you know? Very good. 20 is the total, which means it is the sum. Yes, you said it exactly right. Autumn, what would be your R? Very good. Kendra, set it up for us. Do we know what S is? 20. So we put 20 equals A1 over 1 minus 0.8. Pandora, how do you get A1 by itself? Very good. 1 minus 0.8 moves over here and gets multiplied. And Jonathan, what you got? 4.